Previously on Shadows of the Heart, Episode 4, we journey into the silent pressures of cultural, religious, and societal expectations that bind individuals in unhealthy marriages. Amara began to question the beliefs that kept her silent. Tom starts to see how being a good man became a burden that enabled abuse. In this week, they looked in the mirror and saw love, loyalty, strength, sacrifice. But beneath the polished reflection, cracks were forming. Cracks made of silent pain, unmet needs, and twisted truths wrapped in tradition. This is where the illusion starts to crumble. This is where they must decide, do I keep pretending, or do I face what's breaking?
Episode 5. The Mirror Cracks. The silence in the room was heavy. Only the ticking clock dared to interrupt it. In the quiet corners of their shared room, Amara sat frozen. Not because of fear, but because of fatigue. The kind that comes from begging someone to love you the way you deserve. Across the room, Dapo scrolled through his phone, lost in his world. Again, she had tried. She always tried. To talk. To reach him. To save what they once had. To explain how lonely she felt, how disconnected their once loving relationship had become. But as always, he had brushed her off with a dismissive wave of his hand. "You're overthinking things, Amara," he said, not even glancing up. "You always turn little issues into something dramatic." Her heart sank. It was the same line he always used. The same wall she kept running into, hoping one day it would crack open and let her in. But it never did. Dapo's words weren't just careless. They were calculated. He had a way of twisting conversations so that Amara always ended up questioning herself. Was I too sensitive? Was I too emotional? Was I the problem? Was I imagining the coldness in his voice, the distance in his eyes? At first, she had believed it. She had tried harder, cooked his favorite meals, avoided topics that irritated him, even apologized for things that weren't her fault. But the more she tried to please him, the more invisible she became. He never raised his voice. That would have been too obvious. Instead, he wounded with silence, with disregard, with that sharp, subtle mockery that chipped away at her confidence. When she cried, he acted inconvenienced. When she smiled, he barely noticed. Amara began shrinking in her own skin. She stopped sharing her thoughts, stopped dreaming out loud. The girl who once sparkled with ambition and joy now avoided her own reflection, afraid of what she'd see. And yet, somewhere deep inside her, a quiet rebellion stirred. As she lay in bed staring at the ceiling that night, she whispered to herself, "This can't be love. This isn't love." For the first time, she allowed herself to name it. Not weakness, not failure, but emotional abuse. Dapo's narcissism had poisoned the air between them, leaving Amara gasping for the affection that had long withered. But in that suffocating space, she began to find herself again, piece by piece. And in that moment, a flicker of light returned to her soul. She wasn't free yet, but she was awake. And that was the beginning of everything. Tom, calm, trying to connect. "Stacy, can we talk for a minute? I've been feeling really shut out lately. It's like whatever I do isn't enough for you." Stacy, smirking, not looking up from her phone. "Oh, please, Tom. Here we go again, always playing the victim. Maybe if you were half the man I thought I married, we wouldn't be having this conversation." Tom, frowning, "I'm not blaming you. I want us to understand each other. I miss us." Stacy sighs dramatically. "You miss me? That's rich. Coming from someone who can't even keep up with the men in his circle. You're always so emotional, Tom. It's exhausting." Tom, quietly, responded, "Why do you always cut me down when I try to open up? Stacy with mocking tone. "Oh, so now I'm the problem again? You see, this is exactly what I mean. You're too sensitive. You twist everything I say. Maybe if you spent less time whining and more time being a real leader, I'd have more respect for you. I'm doing my best. But respect goes both ways, sweetheart. You haven't said a kind word to me in weeks," Tom said calmly. Stacy, coldly, responded, "Kind words don't pay bills or command admiration. Maybe I wouldn't be so harsh if you actually gave me something to admire. Sometimes, silence isn't peaceful. It's heavy, filled with words left unsaid, and truths swallowed to keep the peace." Tom, thinking, looking at his hands. Maybe she's right. Maybe I am too soft. Maybe I need to be stronger. But this isn't strength. This is suffocation. He stares at the rearview mirror, his own eyes distant, searching. The pattern was always the same: belittling, comparison, mockery, then silence. She rarely shouted. Her tone was calm, her insults laced with sarcasm and subtle cruelty. She'd withdraw affection for days, sleeping at the edge of the bed like he wasn't there. When he tried to reach for her, she flinched, muttering, "Don't touch me. You haven't earned that." The isolation was worse than the insults. No one believed him. A man, tall, composed, successful on the outside, suffering emotional abuse? It didn't fit the narrative. He had stopped telling his friends, stopped reaching out to his pastor. Even his mother, once sympathetic, had said, "Just be patient. Women can be like that. You're the man. You must manage her." So he managed.
The mirror has cracked, and now the truth peers through. For Amara, for Tom, for all who have hidden behind the expectations of others, the question remains: will they pick up the pieces and rebuild, honestly, painfully and freely, or will they keep living behind the reflection they were told to admire? The journey has only just begun. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Grace and Grit TV for more inspiring stories on healing, relationships, and self-discovery. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help someone else heal too.